Good morning, everybody. All right, it's happened. We have Bugs on the line. Now, this goes back years and years on Coast. This is a man who claims he shot, and I believe him, 2 Bigfoot. He buried them. Todd Standing is my guest. He's a passionate, articulate, sensitive guy, and I believe every word he's saying as well. So in a moment, we're going to get him together, and we're going to get Bugs to tell his incredible story. We'll be right back. Good morning, everybody. My guest is Todd Standing. I'd like to now introduce you to somebody I haven't talked to in years and years. Is it really you, Bugs?
It's really me, Art. How you doing?
Hey, buddy. Great to hear your voice. How have the years treated you?
Oh, I'm just getting older and slower, Art.
Yeah, aren't we all? All right, Bugs, it's an opportunity I just can't pass up. Todd is here. Todd, you are here, right?
Yes, I am.
All right. I'd like to ask you to just sit back and listen and ask any questions you would like to ask as you listen to the story. Feel free. But I would like you to listen to what Bugs has to say. Bugs, best you can with the time we've got, tell us.
You want it from the beginning?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I believe this is either December of 76 or January of 77. Me and a couple of buddies of mine by the name of Bird Dog and Jim were out hunting. Back and during that period of time, these varmints, coyotes, bobcats, coons, boy, they bring a lot of money. There was a lot of nights we'd go out and hunt all night, come home with $2,000. So this particular night, we was back up north, and we were making our run toward the house, and it's probably 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
And by the way, this is in Texas.
It is in Texas.
Panhandle of Texas. I guess we can identify that for you. Okay, go ahead.
And we were coming down this road heading south, and we wanted to come down by a creek, which I won't name at this point. And there was a wheat field on the north side of this creek. It was about a quarter mile wide and about a mile long. And before you got to the creek, there was a series of a hill you had to go up and over. And, you know, we traveled about 10, maybe 15 miles an hour with the spotlights going back and forth looking for eyes. And when we come up over this hill and our lights went down on the wheat field, we seen a set of eyeballs. So we immediately put the spotlights on it. We drove on down, keeping it in sight, because at that point we was probably 350 yards from it. We drove on down probably another 100, 150 yards, and we were straight almost north of it. And Bird Dog jumped out and come across the cab with his rifle, and he says to me something to the effect, "What the heck is that?" Well, immediately Jim, he jumped out of the pickup, put his rifle on it, and I put mine on it. And I said, "I think it's a bear," because it was squatted down out there in the middle of the wheat field. And I said, "Let's kill it." We all three fired at the same time. It dropped. We jacked another round in the chamber, each one of us, and it got up and took off running. And we fired again, and it dropped again, and it ran and jumped over the fence, went down into the creek. We didn't know what the heck it was at that point. Didn't know if it was a bear or what, because it was running like a human. We went down and played around, whatever, till it got light enough to where we could see, and we went back down to the point where it jumped the fence and went into the creek, and we could see blood drops. We followed the blood drops up to a plum thicket, and we could hear a growling in there, and nobody wanted to go in the plum bushes to see what it was. Me being young and dumb, having a 44 Magnum pistol, I decided I'd go in the plum bushes. So I go in there, and I guess I was in 15, 20, 30 feet, something like that. And I still couldn't see anything. And then all of a sudden, right in front of me, I could see this one creature down on the ground. Another one was sitting there at its head, and it was growling at me. And I had my 44, and it came up like it was coming toward me. And I fired once. It staggered. I cocked the hammer again, and it come toward me again, or leaned like it was coming toward me again. I fired again, and over backwards it went and hit the ground. And we got them out, looked at them, and Art, it scares me to this day still. That female had breast on her just like a woman. She had the female organs. The male had the organs. The only difference,
they were covered with hair.
yes, they were covered with hair, kind of a reddish brown hair, solid across. Their brow was a little bit higher than a human, but they had nose and eyes similar to human. Their mouths was more like a prune mouth. It scared the hell out of me. I'll just be honest with you, because I thought we'd done killed two deformed human beings. And so me and Bird Dog and Jim, we thought about it for a long time. We decided the best thing to do is to bury them suckers and put them in the ground. So that's what we did.
Okay. Can you estimate how tall were these creatures?
I'm going to say the male was probably 8.5 foot, somewhere around that area, and the female was probably, I'm going to say 7'6" to 8, and the male would probably weigh, I'm just guessing the way we had to tug on them, probably 500 pounds. The female weighed probably 4.
Wow.
I mean, they were heavy, Art.
Okay, so you buried them near this creek, right?
Right. In fact, you have a map. I
do.
guess you still have the map. I
do.
sent you and told you upon my death you could reveal it.
Yeah, I've got the map.
But I was listening to your guest tonight. He said they can't be classified as a human species, and that's why I wanted to talk to him. Because if he can convince me they are not human, I will reveal that location.
Yeah, we talked to, I think you had a chance to talk to an attorney, isn't that right?
That's correct.
And
I talked to an attorney. My wife didn't want me doing it because the thing about it is the female breast and the female organs and the male organs and stuff, it was just, you can't understand it unless you can see it. And it's still burned into my brain to this day.
Todd, how would you advise him? Now you've heard the story. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them or advise him. You see the problem he's got.
Yeah, well, the story really just scares me entirely because you shot at something in a field that was crouched down. I mean, it really could have been a man at that. There's a point where...
No. We knew it was not a man.
But when it was crouched down...
When it was crouched down, it looked like a bear. And you got to understand another thing. Where we were hunting, there wasn't a human being living within 20 miles of that place.
Mm-hmm.
We knew the area. We knew this was not a man.
Mm-hmm. Was it obvious?
We knew it wasn't a cow because,
Yeah, was it obvious at that distance that it was covered with hair?
Yes, you could see the hair because in our scopes that we were using, at fire point, this thing was probably 150 yards out. And our scopes were, what I used was a 3x9 variable, and that's like 35 feet 35 feet to 100, I believe, or something in that neighborhood. So at that range, I could see the features, and it looked like a bear.
Mm-hmm. What color were the eyes when you shine the light on them?
There was no reflection.
No reflection.
That's what surprised the heck out of me.
I wish I had it right now. In the video one that I did shoot, although there was a lot of augmentation and stuff done to it, it's on the website still. And if it's on Meta Cafe, it's my video, and I don't even have access to it. But there's a sound of a growling sound.
Right.
That a lot of that actually got me my biologist, because that's the sound that a Bigfoot makes when it growls. And you should ought to listen to that sound because it's very original. It's sort of people have likened it to sort of a chainsaw, or it was like a ticking.
Well, to be honest with you, I have never in my life heard that kind of growl before.
And that's what everybody says when they see the video one sound, is that it's just a sound like nothing's ever heard before.
I mean,
and I'll tell you what, if it's the same sound. I mean, I didn't know it at the time. It took me a while, but that certainly was not a human being. It was a new species of primate. And if it's the same sound, you certainly shouldn't be concerned. If you shot a species of primate, I mean, you don't take my word for it. Contact a anybody, a wildlife officer, because those are the people that are really going to be involved in this. Contact them and tell them what would happen if I killed Bigfoot. Say it right to them. I have killed a species. It's very close. The DNA is probably going to be 99% the same, but it's not a human. It has hair and blood. And if you, what they'll tell you is there's nothing we can do. There's nothing anybody can prosecute against you at all. So, but even with that being said, though, would I trust the legal system? No, you certainly have a point in being concerned about that.
That was, in my point exactly, at that point in time, we went and seen an attorney because I was very serious about turning this over to mankind. I mean, what happened was a pure accident. I mean, it's 1 in a million chances of doing this. You know, everything was just exactly right at the right time.
Bugs, they were both, without question, dead.
Oh, yes. Both of them were dead.
Right away.
I mean, the female I shot was at 44. I used 120 grain, or maybe it's 150 grain hollow point, and it took a hole out of the back of her. Both shots did probably 3-inch diameter. Now the other one was hit 4 times. But
all right, both of you know